Teddy Bridgewater joins the Lions and he's out on the practice field talking to the media, really getting acclimated to the team. So he was here technically for the preseason game against the Giants, didn't play, but now he's getting practice in him and again talking to the media. So Teddy Bridgewater, I'm going to get to probably 3 or 4 things that I absolutely love with Teddy Bridgewater and why this is a very important signing for us. First thing though is like, why aren't backup quarterbacks on good teams more highly sought after? And here's what I mean. If you're a good team with a good roster, like the Lions, I mean, amazingly, like the Lions have a good roster, it's like, yeah, why don't you go find a good backup quarterback? I know it's not easy, and I know there's not quarterbacks just sitting around, but it's like, would you, should you give up a 3rd-round pick for a backup quarterback in a trade or something? I know that I'm just making a point that you'd hate to put all this work in, and then at the most important position, you only have one capable guy. And that's really the only knock on Brad Holmes through his tenure here with the Lions is what's going on with the backup quarterbacks. We've had some really rough ones, and then we try to talk ourselves into Sudfeld. And just like Brad Holmes has done with so many other positions, try to talk yourself into tight end, right? Oh, we're good. We're good. We traded Hawkinson. I think we're all right. We got Mitchell coming up. We go get Laporta. And it's like, okay, thank you. Laporta's doing great. We didn't have the tight end depth. Same thing with running back. Man, we're good at running back. Now we get rid of Jamal Williams. We get rid of Swift. We bring in 2 really good running backs, and you just see that the bar keeps getting raised. So Sudfeld, same thing. Thought maybe he's okay. Maybe he could fit in. No, he can't. He can't at all. And we need a good backup. We have to have somebody in the event that Jared Goff goes out for 3-4 games. Teddy Bridgewater is that guy. So remember Teddy Bridgewater. And here's 3 big keys. You're not just getting a backup quarterback, right? Like this is why we're such a big deal about Teddy Bridgewater, is because first of all, he wears 2 gloves. Love that. And he's also going to be number 50 in preseason. That's cool. That's funny, whatever. But he can't be when the season starts. So yeah, why not get weird? You just started. So he's going to be number 50. I love that. But here's the thing about him. He was a 1st-round pick, has a ton of starting experience in big time games. Not big time games. Let me back that up. But like in big games, starting on the road, different atmospheres. I mean, Sudfeld, I don't think he's ever started. So, don't like that. Bridgewater, ton of experience. He can be a great mentor, teacher, veteran guy for Hendon Hooker, who's coming up from basically he's going to have this season off. So just it's perfect because Hooker can learn from him. Somewhat similar quarterbacks in that they are kind of mobile, but really they're good pocket passers is what they want to be, and that's what they can be. And then and then Dan Campbell knows him. They've spent time together back in New Orleans. They know each other. They know that he can be a veteran pro presence in the locker room. And I absolutely love that as well. So if you look at it, Teddy Bridgewater, he gets out there on the field a little bit, runs around, light work. And the Lions in general had a lot of guys out of practice. There's like a bug going around. I think it's a stomach bug. The worst thing, by the way. I mean, the worst. Would you rather have strep throat or a stomach bug? Strep throat. I'd rather have a broken ankle than the stomach bug. But a lot of guys were out. It was light work, getting ready for joint practices coming up. We're really going to get into work. And then there's another preseason game. Might see Teddy, may not. But in any case, Sudfeld has an opportunity. He's going to play most of the time here, these next 2 preseason games. But I still don't think he's going to make the team. I don't think they're going to keep three quarterbacks, but they're definitely going to keep Teddy Bridgewater, right? I mean, like, let's be honest about that. So let me look and show you just a couple things here. There's a few more as we talk about Teddy Bridgewater, what he's done. I'll get back to that in just a second, but here's a couple things that we need to watch. There's a few roster spots on defense still up for grabs. I'm going to switch gears just to defense just for a second, but I guess I thought this was pretty interesting. How about our defensive line depth out of nowhere, right? We had no defensive line presence when Matt Patricia was here. Then all of a sudden, we've got some carryover Matt Patricia guys, then an influx of talent from Brad Holmes, and now we've got a ton of guys. So Julian Okwara, most people think he's going to be out. James Houston in. Romeo in. Levi in. Covington, which we brought in, is out, along with Benito Jones, which I find that interesting. And then if you go down here a little bit more, so here we go. James Houston is in. There's some thought that maybe he wouldn't be able to make it in, which, I mean, that's kind of crazy. So here we go. The Lions have a crazy amount of depth at the edge position. Hutchinson, Kaminsky, and this kind of hurts the tackles because Kaminsky can play a little bit of tackle. Harris, Josh Pascal, same thing. He can slide inside as well. So Julian Acquire is the kind of the guy that's out. There's going to be one kind of mainstay guy that's out. Julian Acquire might be that guy. So also let's go back to Teddy Bridgewater, but for a second, I just wanted to touch on that because we're getting close to the second preseason game and joint practices. You want to keep your eye on that last kind of bubble watch from the defensive side, which is a great thing to see, the bubble watch there. But Teddy Bridgewater wearing number 50, love that. Teddy Bridgewater, you see now that the Lions have now completed the roster. I mean, really look at the roster now, and it's kind of crazy. You've got defensive line, good as we're going to get it. Would we like one more star defensive tackle? Yeah, but the fact that Levi's out there, Aleem's out there, we've got players at the defensive tackle position that are good. Defensive edge, loaded. Linebacker, Derek Barnes playing well. I mean, Rodrigo, he's going to play well. Anzalone's like a mainstay star, not star, but just like a fixture that we just can't, we can't have him play any better. He's just like, he's not going to play absolutely great, but he's never going to play terrible. And he just knows what he's supposed to be doing. He's just like our mainstay guy. Love it. Linebacker set. Jack Campbell, of course, coming in. Jalen Reeves can play a little bit, but he's also going to be mainly special teams. Secondary set because of Brian Branch, of all people. Brian Branch comes in and he can't take him off the field. So now you can put CJ Gardner-Johnson at safety, Walker, maybe he's rotational piece. You just got depth on the defensive side, defensive line set, offensive line set, running backs, good. We got 2 deep. We're going to add a third. We'll see what happens there. Wide receiver, good, fine. Quarterback, good. Everything is set, and now the quarterback position is absolutely set because we have the backup quarterback. So Teddy Bridgewater said all the right things. Media coverage was all over him. Ask him about why he chose here. He said Dan Campbell, what he can bring, leadership, accountability. What can he do for Jameson Williams? Jameson Williams, he's going to be able to teach him. Wants to see him be the best that he can be. Hendon Hooker, same thing. So I get it, right? He's his first press conference. He's going to say all the right things, but he's the perfect addition because he makes sure that our quarterback room is set. He's going to be a great mentor, a great leader to Hendon Hooker, Jameson Williams. He's going to be a great teammate. Dan Campbell knows him, has been around, love all the things, and most importantly, he's the perfect addition because he completes the team. I mean, he is the last piece, and it's the final piece that Brad Holmes just had to have because you go through all the positions, and I get it, right? Your resources and what you're doing and focus. You can't necessarily focus on the backup quarterback when you're early in a rebuild. Like, that's not priority one, but the priority goes up as the team around you gets better. And now you don't want to lose your whole season if Jared Goff goes out for 6 weeks or something. So love it. He's the perfect addition to the team. Can't wait to see what happens as the Lions go into joint practices and then preseason game number 2. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Teddy 2 gloves. Absolutely love that. I remember seeing him for the first time with 2 gloves on. I'm just being like, that was back when quarterbacks just started to wear a glove. And then he's just like, I'm going to wear 2. And I thought it was the weirdest thing. I hated it. And I love it. It's his thing now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.